been on the absolute hunt recently for that glorious EV speaker kind of tone.
I went down the rabbit hole, didn't I? Good and proper.
Yeah.
Speaker cabs. So we went on the EV journey. Our good mate Philip Sayce, we were helping him out to source a cabinet to use on his tour a couple of years ago. And he asked, could we look out for some EVs? So what's an EV? Electro voice speaker. They are the revelation. Didn't even know it at the time. We sort of heard.
Yeah, I'd heard Steve Ray Vaughan had used them.
Okay,
so
yeah.
I knew in the back of my mind that they're going to be good.
Yeah, but I think we were like, oh, that's a bit fussy, isn't it? And yeah, a bit fussy. The guy knows his tone, big time. So we were like, yep, cool. We'll have a look through them. And oh my god, we when we heard Philip play them once we got the amp, and when we tried it out to make sure it was working, there's no coming back. We now totally get why so many people do use them. I think you were always my Jensen's fine.
Yeah, so that's the thing. On my Fender Deluxe Reverb, I've gigged that for years with the Jensen speaker, which has a hole in it. I actually taped it up for years, and it sounds a bit flubby, but I quite liked that. It was just like had its own character. And when we saw Philip using this cab here actually at his sound check, we were like, that's sounding way better than any other human. And obviously that's probably is mostly attributed to the fact Philip is superhuman. But we didn't realise how much of that tone could be attributed single-handedly to the EV speaker.
Well, yeah, because he's obviously using like a 100-watt Cougar head and tons of amazing pedals, and you sort of think speaker can't make that. They do character the tone quite a bit, different things and the type of cabinet you're using, but we didn't realise just how much. And the EVs are a really efficient speaker, so they're very honest, and they point out some errors if you do. So you do have to be pretty decent. But yeah, it was an eye opener, wasn't it? Our first gig, we went to sound check, and when the man Philip says we're good to go, we were like, thank God we haven't ruined the whole tour. and it just sounded bonza, didn't it? So brought them around today. We've got various combinations of stuff to go through. Do you want to go through the Switchington?
Yes. So to make it easier, you might have seen our recent video on the Ampete amp switcher. It's a super fancy device where you can basically plug in up to 8 amps and 8 cabs, switch between them in real time, so you can literally get, instant feedback on which cab is working and which one isn't. And for today's video, it's perfect because we can use the stock Jensen speaker, quickly A/B it with the EV speaker in this cabinet that we're talking about, and see if it's not our ears playing tricks on us. And I think we should let's fire up the Jensen. Yeah, let's fire up the Jensen with the Deluxe, which is what I know and love for years now. And then go straight to the EV cab. Again, this is the cab that we loaned to Philip Sayce, and it does have that
Battle Scars.
It's got battle scars, but it's also got we've got one of the 12Ls in it going out right now. So it's a great A/B test, a fair test. Do you happen to have a guitar pick?
We have this one that no one's allowed to use because this is the Philip Sayce used. I don't know. There's one.
We found this pick in the back of the Philip Sayce cab, and we were like, do you know what? We can't. Look, it's even got the wear on it. We have to.
Oh, that's impressive.
Okay, so this is the stock Jensen speaker that I've used for years in the Fender Deluxe.
Oh, bit of Philip Sayce there. So this is the upgrade EV version. Switching back.
I almost had to stop playing the first time you switched over because it changed tone so much. I thought it went onto the bridge pickup when I was actually on the neck pickup. That's how much of that crystal clean glassiness it adds to the sound. It's like a night and day tone in the room. I don't know what it's sounding like over on the camera, so let us know in the comments if you can hear it being as drastic as we're making out. But that's night and day difference.
Do you think it's treble introduced or darkness removed? Because you were saying the Jensen's very dark, but the EV is known to be a very non-coloured speaker and very efficient as well.
See, that's why you're here. You can analyse.
I could be talking absolute Mickey Mouse and he wouldn't know, would he? So.
See, I thought you were just a fancy little...
The comments are going, yeah!
I might play something else.
Yeah, do some like slower chordy stuff as well.
Okay, yeah.
So, we thought, let's pedal it up.
That sounds fucking good.
Tube Screamer, baby. What? Is it not? I said it wrong.
Tube Screamer on steroids.
Ah,
But
yeah.
without the Tube Screamer name, we can't say that.
Right, okay. Screaming of the tube variety
Yeah.
of the cowboy territory.
But yeah, we got super inspired by when Philip used this in his sound check when we filmed the gear breakdown, if you guys saw that. And again, some of those overtones today, some of those tones coming from the cab are like super in that Philip vein.
And it's interesting fact, if you were at the Manchester gig, Philip Sayce last year, he used that deluxe with this speaker, so you'll be hearing the same setup, obviously not as loud.
And not as good
crazy.
either. Yeah, basically everything other than what we're talking about. So we want to add on the Cowboy King, see if we can get that tone on steroids. So.
And see the difference between the Jensen and the EV again, because we might like the Jensen cooked on instead of the EV. We might be like,
That's a good shot, actually. So we've got the drive on about 10 o'clock, level maxed out, and tone just above noon.
Hang on, let's put the Jensen, so the Jensen standard deluxe first, and then we'll switch to the EV in a minute.
Okay.
I can hear people saying, don't put the Jensen back on. Well, I hope you're saying that, because what we're hearing is night and day. Do you find, like everyone, when you get that sound, you just feel inspired, don't you? But there's a difference. And when we first plugged it in, you were like you didn't need any warm up, straight in.
Yeah, that's right. I think there's a combination of the volume, that EV speaker, adding the more gain from the Cowboy King actually made me go into a new gear then as well. I feel like I can just go straight into it a lot more. I mean, if you're when we used to record videos back at the old setup and we was like, had no room, you couldn't turn it up because your neighbours would shout at you. That's not inspiring, is it?
No.
Whereas this is very inspiring. Like, this is just what we've always wanted.
I mean, it's worth saying and pointing out that the EV is a much more efficient speaker than the Jensen, so it is going to be louder by quite a bit. We can't really hear it too much because our ears are just... But you might hear it, you might not. But just bear that in mind. So that could be why it's sounding way better to us anyway, because it is that oomph.
Yeah, it definitely is louder, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, what I'm noticing is on the deluxe Jensen speaker, it sounds like it's almost going through a radio or something. That's so compressed and so mushed in. Like, but the high fidelity element of the EV just.
The sound, like when Philip cranked up that time, it's just got all the dynamics and the character to the sound. It's mind-boggling how freaking amazing those speakers are.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, mate. That's that dripping with tone thing. You know, with that reverb sounds like it's dripping with tone, and I've never had that from us.
I tell you, it's like, because I'm, you may have noticed, quite shy on camera, and when he's playing, he's, you know, all right, isn't he? Not too bad. And I'm one of those, you know, should have learned more theory and played more during my life and try and fanny it. But with this, you feel invincible, don't you?
Yeah,
like, I don't care what anyone thinks, just.
So where did you find these? Because you can't just go and buy them off the shelf, can you?
No, they were discontinued a long time ago because EV got sold on to various different companies. I'm pretty sure you can get them again now, but there's a classic range and there's a Zach Wild range. I think the Zach one's a higher wattage, I think, but I've not really looked into them that much because they were like 300 plus quid and we can't get them in the UK. When I was looking anyway, you had to get them from Thomann in Germany. So we looked down and being cheapskates, well, for technical reasons, we wanted a broken in speaker because we didn't actually have much time to get the speakers for Philip. So we needed to know they were working good and broken in. So we went down the used market. So we found that one was actually just I found it on eBay. It was, I think they listed it wrong because it's actually so EV used to make a lot of speakers for like Music Man, Fender, Rivera amps and a few others. I think you can even find EVs in Mesa Boogie amps as well, but be careful because there is a bass line of speakers, so you need to get your codes right and make sure, otherwise you can get mugged off quite quickly. They all sound great, but if you want the very specific L's, the guitar ones, make sure you do your homework. So we got that one off eBay. It was a winner because it was the Music Man one, which had a black back on it, which I think a lot of people, it's not genuine, but it is. We've had it verified. We know it is. It's got the right castings and everything.
And if nothing else, it sounds incredible. So
yeah, it sounds amazing. So yeah, you can find them in various other cabs. So do your homework before you spend a ton of money because they are loud. They're super efficient. And you do need to drive them quite a bit before you actually get them working like what we've got them pumping out at the moment. So if you've only got a small wattage amp, you might not want one because you won't be able to push it hard enough to get that kind of output from it to get the benefit.
Does it sound a bit more nasally if you can't crank it?
It just sounds a bit dull.
Right.
It like we're hearing, because we cranked it up and when we put the overdrive through it as well, it lifts it that bit more. So you're like, you know,
right,
hallelujah territory. But lower volumes, I think they struggle to show their true character and potential. They were used in lots of like stage monitors. They were used.
Oh, Paul's giving away his secrets
no,
here.
Well, we've got most of ours, so yeah, mate.
Yeah, we're fine.
Don't send this video out for a couple of weeks because I need to get you another one or whatever, isn't it? But it's a rabbit hole, so I don't advise you go down it. But you can find them in various equipment that comes up fairly cheap. For instance, for Pierce Cab was 100 quid, I think. So not only did we get a cracking ported closed cab, but it also had the EV12 in it. The only other ones I've seen since then have been 300 quid plus. But yeah, do your homework if you really want to get one. All we're saying is don't spend a ton of money just to recreate this. We don't want you to go and spend all your pocket money.
And what do people need to look out for though, in terms of if they see an EV speaker on eBay, what are the initials and letters that they have to look for to get the real deal one? So
the real deal is the 12L, the EVM 12L. That's like the one that most people use. There's like there's like a 200 watt version and a 300 watt version. There's also a Force 12, which uses the same cone, but it has a different magnet assembly on it. And I want to get one of those to see, because it's a lower wattage, so it might work better at lower wattages anyway. But yeah, it's for 12L you want to go for. Be careful of people selling a 12S as a 12L, because although they sound great, and I think Joe Bonamassa uses 12Ss in some, but it's basically got a shorter basket. It's quite hard to tell the difference unless you've been doing the rabbit hole journey like I have.
Yeah, because you know all of the ins and outs, and I'm like, again, my brain switches off. You're
Yeah.
you're a lot better at that sort of stuff.
And there is differences between Mesa Boogie, Music Man and Fender versions. There's very subtle tweaks between some of them as well. So you might be thinking, oh, that's not a genuine one. It actually is, but it was for a different manufacturer because they changed the casting of the frame slightly. But yeah, it's a fun journey.
Yes, yes.
We shouldn't be giving the game away, but anyway, it's a fun journey if you want to try and hunt some stuff down. But don't go paying silly money. You can find them. There's some bargains out there.
Probably not now. Not now you said that.
Not now, yeah. Everyone's click, 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 click. But yeah, there's also like JBLs you can get that have, I think they're normally a bit more, some people say ice picky or a bit more trebly, but depending on what you're going for, it doesn't have to be the EV. There are other epic speakers out there.
Yeah, I suppose if there's a lesson to take from the video, it's just try a new speaker.
Yeah. You know, when they're trying to sell you that upgrade, sometimes they actually do know what they're on about.
Yeah, I've always been a bit stubborn. Like I said, I've always used that Jensen and thought it sounds great. What more could I always thought a speaker would maybe add 2 or 3%. So I was like, why tear apart your amp to do that? But it's an absolute revelation for me at least. Yeah. Like we've tried a lot of stuff in the past. I mean, new pedals can give you that inspiration. New amps and guitars can, but you sort of expect that. If you buy this, you expect
big
change.
changes, aren't
yes.
they? It's just like you go from a Marshall to a Fender. It's like, whoa. You go from a Tube Screamer to a Klon. Whoa.
Yeah.
You know, but speakers are all kind of like, yeah, it makes a bit of difference. You know, bit more punch, bit more output. But well, I would say thanks to Mr. Sayce for trusting us to find stuff, but opening our eyes, because it is cool. And but yeah, I just want to play guitar now. So see ya.
Yeah. But yeah, on that note, guys, thanks so much for watching and following us on this exciting tone journey. If you like the Cowboy King, check out the Cowboy King. Also the Ampete amp switcher, that is a super cool tool that we've been using today. And yeah, thanks a lot for watching, guys. We'll catch you in a bit, and cheers.